Okay, yesterday we didn't learn, but back to Bedikat Chametz. Okay, bottom line is, any room that you bring Chametz into during the year that you're planning to be there during Pesach, you need to do Bedikat Chametz in all the rooms. If you want to lock up part of the rooms, not go in there during Pesach, so then obviously you don't have to do Bedikat Chametz in those rooms if you're selling your Chametz. But this refers to businesses we're learning, this refers to cars. According to halacha, a car is a place you bring chametz into. People eat in a car. So therefore, bedikas chametz, you have to do bedikas chametz also in your car. Now, the real time for bedikas chametz that somebody is able to make a bracha, we learned already, is the night of bedikas chametz. This year, Sunday night, because Monday is Erev Yom Tov, right? So Sunday night, in 2 weeks from this Sunday, is Bedikas Chametz night. So you have to search the Chametz. That is the only night you can make a bracha. Shulchan Aruch says, what happens if somebody has too many places to do, and he wants to do Bedikas Chametz earlier? He wants to do Bedikas Chametz earlier. So number one, Bedikas Chametz can only be done at night, according to Allah. Why? Because at night the candle shines brighter than it does during the day. The Gemara Yerushalmi has an expression, Shraga b'tihara mayhani, a candle during the daylight that doesn't accomplish anything. If you want to use a candle to get into the cracks and crevices all around the place, so then, as we'll learn, you need to use a single wicked candle. Preferably beeswax, but you need to use a single wicked candle. So or nowadays, which is even better than a single wicked candle, I mean, there's the inyan of using a single wicked beeswax candle, as we'll learn in a spiritual sense. But in a practical sense, if you want to do Bedikas Chametz, a flashlight is better, safer, and it's better because you can see better with a flashlight than you do with a candle. That's interesting. The Gemara learned down from a pasuk. The Gemara in Pesach learned down from a pasuk. You have to search for the Chametz with a candle, and it has to be a single wick candle. Why a single wick candle? You can't use a Havdalah candle for Bedikas Chametz. So the Gemara says two reasons. Number one, it's too big of a fire, you might burn down the house. You know, you would be hesitating to go into the corners to look properly because, again, you might burn down the house. But the Gemara says another interesting scientific fact. When you search Bedikas Chametz with a candle, so you put the candle to look what's in front of the candle. The Gemara says, by a single wicked candle, the light goes in front of the candle. If it's a multi-wicked candle, like Havdalah candle, the light goes behind the candle, not in front of the candle. So if I'm taking a candle to look in the corners and I use a torch, meaning more than one wick, I'm not going to be able to flame. The light is not shining ahead of me, it's shining behind me. So it's not going to be good. So halachically you can't use a single wick candle. But if people want to use a flashlight, I'll give you all the examples of it. Let's say you want to do Bedikas Chametz in your car. Obviously, we're not doing Bedikas Chametz in the gas tank. That's a different story. But you're doing Bedikas Chametz in the car, you should use a flashlight. If you're doing Bedikas Chametz under the beds or near the drapes, okay, then you use a flashlight because, God forbid, there are many, many houses that burn down. I mention this every year. In many, many cities, a lot of houses get literally burned down the night of Bedikas Chametz. Why? Because somebody was doing Bedikas Chametz with a candle under the beds, and the covers caught on fire, or next to the drapes, and the drapes caught on fire, and it's very sad for a lot of reasons. So therefore, in certain places, you should use a flashlight. But what happens? But Bedikas Chametz can only be done during the night. There are a few exceptions. If you have what's called an achsadr, meaning, let's say if this room, we have a lot of windows that the sunlight comes in during the day, so then I could do Bedikas Chametz in this area during the day also. But generally speaking, Bedikas Chametz is supposed to be done at night. Another reason why Chazal say Bedikas Chametz has to be done at night, not during the day, because during the day people are at work. At night, people are home. So that's why you do Bedikas Chametz at night. The Gemara learns out from Pesach, whatever, but these are all the various different reasons. So what happens if a guy has a business and he wants to go into the business during Pesach, okay? And he doesn't want to schlep all the way to his business at night. I mean, the night of Bedikas Chametz, it could be 20 miles away, and he's going to have to go do Bedikas Chametz. So if he wants any night before Bedikas Chametz, he could do Bedikas Chametz in the business without a bracha. Take a flashlight, look around, make sure there's no Chametz, and then he doesn't have to do a Bedikas Chametz. In fact, the Shulchan Aruch, the Rebbe says that what happens if somebody technically wants to do Bedikas Chametz in the whole house before Sunday night. So he says you're allowed to do that providing you leave one room for Sunday night to be able to make a bracha. Like this, you can't make a bracha. So you're allowed to do, let's say you have a 10-room house, okay? Technically, you could do Bedikas Chametz in 9 rooms tonight already, if you're not interested, if you're not going to bring any Chametz into the room. You could do Bedikas Chametz tonight. As long as you leave, the Rebbe says, one room to do Bedikas Chametz, the night of Bedikas Chametz, because then you're able to make a bracha. So if people have a lot of places to do Bedikas Chametz, then they could do Bedikas Chametz earlier. I'll give you another example, which is people aren't aware of, but it's such simple halachic logic. Let's say Pesach this year, for argument's sake, is Monday night, yeah? So women are not starting to cook Monday. Okay, if they're having a lot of people, they're cooking already. So let's say they want to make their kitchen Pesach dik, kosher Pesach, a week before Pesach. Let's say they want to start cooking for Pesach, yeah? So now, they're going to be cooking in a Pesach dik kitchen, and you didn't even check the Chametz yet. Officially checking the Chametz is to make sure there's no Chametz. If you don't do Bedikas Chametz in the kitchen the night before you're making a Pesach dik, how in the world can you make a kitchen Pesach and start cooking if you didn't even check for Chametz? Therefore, let's say if a week earlier on a Tuesday, the woman wants to make over a kitchen Pesach dik, so Monday night, at least in the kitchen, halachically, you have to do Bedikas Chametz without a bracha. But you have to search for the chametz. You can't just rely on the cleaning that you cleaned it. Halachically, you have to do Bedikas Chametz. 1 second. So you have to do Bedikas Chametz. So then you could do it also the night before. It doesn't make sense to be cooking already for Pesach for 5 days, and all of a sudden, okay, now I'm going to do Bedikas Chametz in the kitchen. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So you'd have to make Bedikas Chametz the night before you make the kitchen kosher for Pesach. What?
Are you allowed to bring chametz into that room?
No, because once you do Bedikas Chametz and you're going to bring chametz into the room, then you're going to have to redo Bedikas Chametz. Now, if you have chametz in a bag and you don't empty it out, then you don't have to redo Bedikas Chametz. But if somebody's going to sit down and start eating in a room that you already checked for chametz, you have to go check again. What?
If you're not going to be in the business throughout Pesach, but it will be open.
It's going to be open with workers.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do Bedikas Chametz. It's still the owner's business. It's still the owner's business. I'll give you an example. This happens often. People go away for Pesach, okay? But people want to come and stay in their house for Pesach. Somebody's going from LA to New York, let's say, for Pesach. The family's going to the family, whatever. But now people are coming to LA and they say, oh, you're not going to be here. Can we sleep in your house? So you say, sure, you can sleep in your house. Now the problem is, those guys that went to New York, technically, they don't have to do Bedikas Chametz in their house because they're going to do Bedikas Chametz in New York. Right? So now, what's going to happen? People are going to be sleeping in the house. That means people are going to be using the house. So, somebody has to do Bedikas Chametz. Somebody has to. So either the landlord could do Bedikas Chametz in the rooms they're going to be using, whether it's the bedroom and the kitchen, they might not be eating at all in the kitchen, whatever. Those rooms that they're going to be going through, either the owner, the guy that owns the house is going to have to do Bedikas Chametz. So they're going to have to do Bedikas Chametz. What?
So if someone owns a business in a different state and it will be open on Pesach,
you would have to send a shliach to do Bedikas, unless if there's no chametz of the owner. But again, if the chametz is, the owner pays for the people's chametz, and the kitchen is stocked with chametz. It's stocked with chametz. Whose chametz is that? It's the owner's chametz. What?
So can the owner sell all of the chametz that is existing in there for $1 to the general manager of that place? And that's
no, because he's not going to acquire it with $1. We told you all the acquisitions that you need to make that the guy should legally acquire the chametz. So the only thing you could do is lock away all the chametz, okay, and give the guys money and let them buy what they want. But it's not your chametz. If it's your chametz, you have an obligation to do Bedikat chametz, your place. Now, if you're not going to be in there, you could sell it. But that means it belongs to the guy here that you sold the chametz to, correct? Or wherever you're selling the chametz to. So you can't go into the guy's house and use his stuff. You sold it to him. You can't use his food. The food is sold to the guy.
Can the guy be one of the employees and sell out the benefit?
But again, if you want to sell to one of the guys in the business, you have to do the proper acquisitions. And you can't just say, okay, I'm buying it. No, he has to pick up all the... I mean, it's not so simple.
If you sell the business...
You could give the... What?
You sell the business every year for the whole year to a goy. So then you don't have to.
So whose business is it?
Technically the goy.
No, and what do you mean not technically?
Technically you're working there on during the week,
But you own the business, so the guy makes the profit.
you have a trade cut, you know?
Not that is good, no. That's a shtam mechira only helps for Shabbos. It's not going to help for the whole business during the year. It doesn't work like that. You can't sell a business to a guy for a whole year. Sell it for Shabbos.
Sell for Yom Tov.
No,
Huh?
you know,
Sell for Yom Tov.
What do you mean for Yom Tov?
It's just like Shabbos, meaning the same.
Yeah, but again, you're selling the business, not the chametz.
Long
Does the guy own the building now? No. What does he own?
What if you're partners?
1 second. He doesn't own the building. If I own a business and I own the building, or I'm renting the building, it's my business, right? I own the place. Yeah? Now, I'm going to sell the chametz to the guy. So the chametz is not owning the land. The guy I sold the chametz to owns the land. Now I want to sell, let's say, what you're asking, why can't you sell the chametz to one of the goyim in the business? Yeah? Technically you could, but then it's a separate shtar mechira with separate acquisitions and make sure that the goyim one guy acquires the business and it's completely his. Okay? Then you have to figure out how to work with the profits because that's a separate issue. If you're selling him the whole business, unless I sell him the chametz in the business, not the business. Which could be done, but again, then it has to be done with a particular sale for that particular guy in that particular business, not, okay, I'm selling it to you for $1. He's not going to acquire anything. And then it's still your chametz, and then after Pesach, you'd have to throw it out. What?
Plus, can individual do it and sell to the boy, or is that...
The reason why, years ago, people used to do that. Number one, they know how to learn, and they know how to legally sell it to the guy. And they didn't have that much chametz as an individual. Today, why do rabbis, and by the way, not all rabbis sell chametz either. Rabbonim sell chametz. There's a limit between a rabbi and a rav, okay? You know how many rabbonim, I'm one guy, remember. You know how many rabbonim sell the chametz through me? Besides all the shluchim in California, sell it through me, okay? And a lot of rabbonim here in the city sell it through me. So, because not everybody deals with it, not everybody could deal with, knows how to deal with, wants to deal with it, it's a lot of halacha involved. And if you mess up in the deal, that the guy doesn't actually acquire it, then what you accomplished is everybody's owning chametz on Pesach, number one. They're getting a sin for owning chametz on Pesach, and all that chametz after Pesach has to be thrown out. So it doesn't work like that. You think Kaddish? Yes. Al Yisrael.